So, hi everyone, welcome along to the SFC interviews here for the big one, episode number 100 with former manager Paul Fairclough. How's things, Paul? And first of all, thank you for taking some time out to be this big number 100 as well.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the chat. I'm really well. I'm sure we got lots to talk about.
Yeah, lots to cover. All the way through from when you joined first time, and obviously your second spell and stuff as well. We've got loads to cover, and about certain players as well. One in particular who there's a game for this weekend.
Yeah, that's right.
So we'll go first of all into when you joined the football club. It was 1990 from Hertford Town, wasn't it? And can you tell us about those conversations with the chairman, and were you kind of interested in moving to Stevenage pretty much straight away?
Yeah, I mean, I'd done okay at Hertford Town, and I was ready for something bigger. I had a plan of my own. I wanted to manage in the Football League.
Yeah.
And I thought I needed to find a football club who could take me on that journey. And I felt the best way to do it was to try and win things. So I had a 10-year plan when I left Hitchin that I needed to find a club who I could generate enough enthusiasm and wins and style and so to eventually get into the Football League. My first encounter was with happened in the council chambers with where I was interviewed by Ken Vale and a couple of business associates.
Okay, yeah.
Quite a daunting experience. Never been interviewed in a council chamber before.
Something a bit different, yeah.
But Ken was quite specific what he was looking for. He's a brusque Yorkshireman, stone Sheffield Wednesday supporter, and was desperate to do well for the club. And he offered me the position more or less straight away. So it was on to work, straight from that moment, really.
And of course, the chairman, of course, Victor Green as well at the time. The conversations you had with him, were they kind of, very up, sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, just kind of, was he able to sell the club to you straight away?
Well, Victor Green wasn't involved at that time. It was all Ken Vale.
Okay, so it was before Victor.
Yeah, Victor was not involved at all. It was all Ken for the first few years, in fact.
Yeah. Okay.
Winning Division 2, Ryman League Division 2 and Ryman League Division 1. And then I think even the Ryman Premier League, Ken was still on board. And it was only then that Victor Green came on board after that event, and
Okay, because that was a little bit before my time, obviously, as I said before. So let's have a look here. So when you came in to the football club, obviously we had some fantastic seasons, winning a number of divisions as well. When that was just a big success really for the football club, which kind of led on to where we're at now.
Yeah, I mean. From when I got there at the ground, when I first arrived, it was a small club with potential.
Yeah.
And there were no big stands there or anything like that. But Victor Green saw, once we'd started winning games and we were on a roll and I was on a roll.
Yeah.
And we ended up winning four championships, which I'm very proud of. Not coming second or getting promoted because we were runners up. We won 4 championships, and Victor Green then came in and was looking to take the club a little bit further. and excuse me, Mike.
That's all right. No, you're
And
okay.
that's when the club started to move on to a different level in terms of the infrastructure of the building, and we started to make plans to start expanding the ground and making it more customer friendly. So that was all very, very interesting stuff when Victor came on board.
And obviously we went on to win the conference in 95, 96. And obviously we weren't allowed up at that time, obviously due to ground regulations. But, what was that like on a personal level, leading that group and, kind of being, the main guy in charge of all of that, basically, yeah.
Well, it was a very, very distressing time because there were rules then at the Football Association and the Football League that basically you had to have it's paramount to, if you wanted to go on holiday in June, you had to have your suitcases packed in December. That's what it was paramount to. In other words, the ground, the stadium needed to be acceptable to FA regulations
At the
by
end
Christmas
of the
time.
yeah.
And it wasn't. And I was very angry with that because because at Christmas time, we were going really strong. I'd known categorically the season before that we were going to win the league the next season.
Yeah.
I knew that. I remember going up to Macclesfield, and Macclesfield had won the league. They'd been promoted, and I remember beating them 3-0. And I recall that day that I knew that the next season we were going to win it. So Victor Green knew we were going to win it. I knew we were going to win it, and but for reasons that never ever came out specifically, it wasn't ready when at Christmas time.
Yeah.
And I do know that Victor challenged the FA at the end of the season when we'd won it. None of the players, myself, we didn't know what the future held for us. We just didn't know at all. And I remember the club going to court in the High Court in London, and I remember sitting there waiting for the judge to make his decision.
Mm-hmm.
And when that happened, when I heard the words that we were not going to be promoted, it was a life shock.
Yeah.
As it was for all the players, because the players had worked so hard, some of them been with me for years, and they'd got themselves into the Football League at the end of that season, and then we've been told to go back down that mountain and start all over again.
And that's obviously, as you say there, the players have worked, ridiculously hard to actually get themselves into that position. And then obviously, they're playing conference football again the following season. So was that quite difficult to pick them up again?
Yeah, very difficult. It was a painful experience. And we got close. We did get close. But, players had to leave, the likes of Barry Hales. It was cruel to hold on to Barry. He was flying. So we sold him and we started dismantling the team. Players left for other various reasons. Form changed. And we had a good go at trying to win it again, but then it was a case of rebuilding a team. And whilst we did rebuild the team, but the team that we rebuilt did not. I felt that it wasn't a team that was going to be sustainable throughout a season and win a championship. It was a squad who were going to do things in the FA Cup, which it did.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a squad that was not because of the ability, but more with the mentality of the squad.
And then obviously in that 96-97 season, we had the FA Cup run where we faced off with Birmingham as well. And, that was just a real eventful sort of time as well, wasn't it, for the
Well,
football club? And
it was, yeah, it was historical for the football club. Going to places like Leighton Orient.
Yeah.
I remember that clearly.
Peter Shilton in goal for Leighton Orient, yeah.
And then Peter Shilton was in goal for Leighton Orient at the time, and then going to places like Birmingham City, which was fantastic for us, fantastic for the club, and then, as you say, the following season it got even more lively.
Absolutely, and of course, that FA Cup run, it kind of started. Well, it was a draw, wasn't it, against Cambridge, and then we had Cambridge in a replay. But who was it we played before that in the qualifying? I'm trying to remember who it was.
Maybe Carl Shelton.
Carl Shelton, that's the one. And then obviously we beat them. That was after a replay, I think, as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, Carl Shelton really should have beaten us at their ground. We were awful, but we managed to scrape a draw and won comfortably at home. And then obviously we had I think Cambridge was a double header as well.
That was a replay, yeah.
I mean, we went up to there, and against the odds, we carved out a draw, because remember we had quite a few injuries, and
they were in league as well. They were Division 3 at the time, weren't they, as well?
Yeah, they were doing really well, and then we beat them at home, and then
Swindon, the memories I've got of that Swindon game in the heavy rain and wind. That was one for, I should say not one for the neutrals.
Well, Swindon was an interesting affair because they were way up there in the championship.
Yeah.
But I detected a chink in their armour before that, and I wasn't unhappy with the draw, and I wasn't unhappy going there with the group that I had.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we got off to a very difficult start in that game with one of the ex-Liverpool forwards. I can't remember his name.
Mark Walters.
Mark Walters scored a cracking goal. He had the wind behind him.
Yeah.
I have to say. But then we fought back, and I remember Jason Solomon scored a great goal.
Mm.
And then we really exploited the conditions well, better than them. They couldn't handle the conditions in the second half. And when Grazioli got his toe to the ball, but the hard work had been done outside the box before that. We were winning second balls, and then we prodded Graz in, and bang, and there we were into the next big round.
And that Swindon game, I've got real good memories of that Swindon game, and going to Swindon and coming back after that with the win as well. You feel the buzz. I'm sure you felt the buzz as the manager as well, no doubt.
Yeah, we were all on an extremely high. The next thing was obviously we had to wait for the draw for the next round then.
And of course, then we drew Newcastle, and obviously it was Newcastle. They came down here originally, but before they actually kicked a ball or anything like that, there was so much media attention and so much basically what's the word? Sort of in the media, I guess, as well, in terms of all of the sort of build up to the game, and Newcastle not being happy that it was going to be played down here, and they wanted it at their ground, etc. Yeah,
there's a lot of things that happened. I mean, first of all, I was invited along with Victor Green to the draw at Lancaster Gate. That was the thing, and I remember it was Kevin Keegan who was pulling the ball out. And I remember him pulling out. I was sitting next to Victor, and I remember him pulling out our ball, and then when Kevin Keegan pulled out Newcastle United, I certainly went into shock. I don't remember any other part of the draw after that.
Just that, yeah.
And then, of course, from that moment on, the controversy started, as you mentioned. Yeah, there was all sorts of shenanigans going on, and I mean, Victor Green was a master at exploiting the situation and publicising the situation.
Yeah,
he knew what he was doing all along to generate more and more interest and more aggravation, and the game became. It didn't just become a British phenomena. It
was worldwide. Yeah,
it became a worldwide phenomena. I can remember us having to have a media night, such was the frenzy, whereby everyone, all the press from all around the world, had to, we needed them to get out of our face and let us get on with the game. So the whole media from all over the world came down to Brodall one evening, and we sort of went through a training session with them.
And of course, that Newcastle game, when it finally come around, and you see Alan Shearer lining up there for Newcastle as well, just coming back from injury, and then obviously he scores within, what was it, about 3 minutes, 4 minutes, something like that. Were you fearing the worst, or were you still, confident that the guys would stick to their game plan?
No, we did a lot of work for that game. I mean, I remember having a set of Newcastle shirts made. I got the soundtrack from St James's Park.
Yeah.
To emulate a crowd, and we would train on our own pitch with 11 lads with Newcastle shirts on. Mm-hmm. And crowd noise, so we were ready for the crowd, the noise.
Yeah.
Even though it was going to be at home, and we'd done a lot of work, mental work, mental strength work, and role reversals. What our fears were, what were Newcastle's fears.
Yeah.
And that eased us all a lot. I mean, and we actually went through what if scenarios. And one of the scenarios were, what if Gillespie crossed the ball and Alan Shearer scored in the first couple of minutes? We actually went through that as one of and how we would respond and how we'd react to that. And when it did actually happen, no one got fazed by it. I mean, I don't know what it was like on the terraces, but certainly on the pitch and on the bench, none of us were fazed, because whilst we didn't want it to happen, we were prepared for it.
Planned for it, yeah. And
to respond accordingly, which we did. We had the situation whereby Stuart Pearce was lining up a free kick outside the box, and we prepared for all those things. So it went on and on, the game, and we had opportunities. They had some opportunity, but I felt that we could have actually won the home game.
Oh, 100%.
We had a goal disallowed, but when we did score the equaliser, I remember it clearly. Very, very, very clearly. I mean, I remember there was tussling in the box, and I remember Jason Solomon making contact with someone in the box. He sort of blocked the defender off to allow Grazioli to get to the ball, and then
there's obviously a great ball in from Gary as well, wasn't it? Gary
Crawshaw, and then a young Grazioli became the name all around the globe. That was it was an amazing occasion, and despite all the problems that we'd had before the game, it was probably the ideal result.
Because Grazioli was only an emergency signing as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, I took him from Peterborough. Yeah,
and that was it just a couple of days beforehand? Was that right?
Yeah. Yeah, so he was he became a household name, didn't he?
Absolutely, and then obviously in the replay as well. Well, first of all, actually the home game, as you say, we really should have won that game with the chances that we created, and then obviously the away game. To go to St James's Park and obviously to get a real great away day from it as well. Obviously the replay, and then obviously to lose it in the way that we did it, it kind of hurt Stevenage fans for a long time after that. Very much actually until we finally beat Newcastle in, I think it was 2010, 2011.
Yeah, I mean, what people don't realise is that in between that game, we went up to we played Gateshead,
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
and we did the whole thing as a trial run.
Hmm.
We went up on the train because we knew we were going to go to the Newcastle game on the train.
Yeah.
We stayed in a hotel that we were going to stay in. So we rehearsed it, and we had a very difficult game against Gateshead, which was Newcastle itself.
Yeah.
And sadly, Grazioli. I mean, it was a very physical game.
Hmm.
We lost Grazioli, we lost Solomon for that game.
Yeah.
We lost, I think, was it Michael Love? We had problems, and of course, consequently, we had to go up there with we had to remodel the team for the game.
Yeah, different lineup than you would.
But again,
what you would have picked otherwise. Yeah.
I mean, Des Gallagher was outstanding, and as you've alluded to, Shearer scored a goal, which was proved later. If it had been VAR, it wouldn't have been in. It wouldn't have been allowed.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The University of Hertfordshire did some work on it, and they proved that it didn't cross the line, and because it was a spectacular overhead kick from Mark Smith.
Wonderful clearance. When you look at that and you analyse that from a defensive point of view, he was literally in the right place, right time. And, the acrobatics of the clearance, literally, that was just sensational defending.
Yeah, it was great, and then obviously there was about 10-15 minutes to go. That's when we got our goal.
Yeah,
Gary Crawshaw, terrific goal that we thoroughly deserved. And I looked across at their bench, and they were panic struck.
Yeah.
We finished the game, and we got a great welcome from our supporters. Fantastic seeing the numbers that managed to get up there to the game. Disappointed with the reaction of the Newcastle supporters.
Mm-hmm.
Even to the point at the end of the year that season, we were voted. The FA did an award for the Cup Run of the Year, and we were invited to go and receive a cup on the pitch at Wembley. Victor Green and I went, and Newcastle had made the final.
Yeah, lost to Arsenal in the final that year. Yeah.
When we went on the pitch to get the trophy, Victor and I got booed.
Oh wow!
So no, it was a memorable occasion. Very.
And of course, that Newcastle game was in your first spell, and then obviously you left the club and then returned in 2000 as well under Phil Wallace. Was it at that time as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, Victor Green got rid of me, which really hurt, especially as we were in a good position, challenging position in the league. We had a couple of games in hand, and we were in a good position. We weren't as strong as the team that actually that went with the squad that actually won it a few years earlier. But yeah, I left. I left and did some other work. I had a wonderful time traveling the world with Nike.
Yeah.
That was great. And then obviously the lure of going back to Stevenage was because I there was unfinished business. It was just to greater lure not to go back. It was a big mistake, you know, and it never really happened. It never really happened at all. And I it was a very sad occasion when I left. You know, my belongings were put into a black bin bag.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember leaving the ground and feeling very distraught about the whole thing. And yeah, I mean, and my dream of becoming a Football League manager had come to a full stop at that time.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And obviously at that time, throughout that season as well, was the FA Trophy run as well. And obviously, you know, that FA Trophy campaign, getting to Villa Park, obviously, we weren't in charge. Well, sorry, you weren't in charge at that point when the final was taking place. But you know, if you were still there, I suppose it's ifs, buts, and maybes. But would you say it would have been a different result, possibly?
I don't know. I don't know. I remember. You know, I couldn't say. You know, I mean, it was a blur to me the rest of that season. You know, so I can't comment on.
No, that's fair. If you want to move on from that, we'll move on to the next topic and the next bit. So obviously, when you look at your record as a manager as well, is that something that you kind of would look at? Would you look at your own sort of record when it comes down to wins, and you know, would you pay much attention to, you know, your sort of win percentage and that kind of thing, or you know, would you not really look into that?
Maybe you've got some facts for me. I don't know.
Yeah, I can tell you now. So 594 games in charge, 319 of them were wins, 119 were draws, and there were 156 losses. So to be honest, that's really, really good. 319 wins out of 594 is actually a very good return.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that at all. So how many games did they actually manage?
594.
Wow, 594, six short of 600 then.
Yeah.
Oh well, you never know.
Well, you've got another one this weekend. You did one in September, so you're only like four. What is it? 4 away now?
Yeah, four away then. Yeah.
And then obviously we'll touch. So you actually is it true that you actually played 3 times for the club as well in the Heart Senior Cup? Is that true facts?
Do you know what? It's that long ago. No idea.
Because I've got on my notes that you made, I think 3 sub appearances in the Heart Senior Cup. So
yeah, I mean, I might have done. I really don't know. Yeah, I could have done. I was young enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's just I wasn't sure whether that was actual facts.
I'd like someone get your stat man on that and find out if that's true.
I'll have a look. Yeah. And then obviously we'll go into the next topic in a minute about Martin Gittins. And obviously, you know, he was one of the top players around the club, you know, in your early days. And there's a massive game coming up for him this weekend. Obviously, second time around after September as well. And obviously the unfortunate incident in September, which, you know, fortunately he's okay as well. The guy from Barnet. But, you know, this time around on Sunday, you know, it's going to be a memorable occasion yet again to celebrate the life of a real top Stevenage, Stevenage stalwart, really.
Yeah, Martin was a phenomenon. I mean, he was the closest thing to an Alan Shearer type player. I mean, you know, Alan Shearer. I mean, defenders feared playing against Alan Shearer because of his physical side of his game. Mm-hmm. Martin Gittins made Alan Shearer look like a pussycat when it came to the physical side of the game. I mean, Martin had if you were a centre half in those days, you feared that game with Martin Gittins being on the, because you knew that you were going to get clattered, and you knew that Martin was going to challenge for every single ball. His work rate was absolutely phenomenal, and on the training pitch, people don't know this, he was just a massive trainer. He would put every ounce into his training session. He wanted to be the best. You know, had Martin had an extra bit of pace, which his records will suggest that he didn't need it.
Yeah.
He'd have played championship football.
And I was talking to his son, Sam. I think it was yesterday, in fact, and he was saying, you know, it was just a little bit unfortunate that he didn't have maybe a few more years. And then obviously he'd be there for the Newcastle game and games like that.
Yeah, I mean, look, Martin was just prolific. You know, with Martin Gittins on the pitch, you knew you were going to score a goal. You just knew. And what people don't realise is it wasn't just the goals that he scored. It was this insatiable appetite to work hard and press and chase the opposition and to win the ball back. He just was an ultimate winner. He needed to win, and he went about his job on the pitch with that mentality.
And of course, we just got a couple of minutes here now before I'm going to have to wrap it up, actually, in fact. So just see what I want to cover and what I can kind of skip over. But in regards to the game on Sunday, I guess really it's something we need to cover. And I suppose, you know, you're managing the legend side again, and something you're looking forward to.
Yeah, I am, because as you've said, it's a great occasion, and I just hope that we get lots and lots of people come in, because all the money is going towards very worthy charity. Martin's family will be there, and I just hope that we get a great turnout, because I think it's going to end up being an annual event, this, and quite, you know, it needs a lot of work going into the illness that Martin had. So yeah, I one of the funny things is about with this game, I've got a younger squad than last time.
Yeah,
I mean, we were having to pull them off left, right, and centre at the last game, but the age has been reduced by about 20 years per player. So and the players themselves, there's been a banter going on. We've got a WhatsApp group, and it's been hilarious listening to them, and they've been excited since the last game, since last year. Everyone is just so excited about playing this game.
And of course, you've got John Messinio with you this time as well, the man who actually scored the goal that got us into League One. So, you know, that's and obviously Ronnie Henry there, guys like that.
Yeah, there's guys like that who, I mean, I remember Ronnie very well, and Messinio very well. I mean, I'm looking forward to, you know, touching base with them all. You know, they're obviously been great players and great servants for the club, and it's going to be a real honour to meet those guys again.
And of course, in my conversation with Sam was saying just to be aware that he's not quite the same level as his dad.
No, he's the lads pulled him about a chance that he had in the last game. They've been pulling his leg for that, and I'm sure he's going to take a bit of stick before the game as well. But no, I'm yet to decide on the starting lineup yet.
Yeah.
I'll be sending that out to the lads over the weekend and let them you know, savour it and see how they like that.
And obviously, we'll just start to wrap it up in a second. But obviously, Stevenage now a Football League club, survived this season as well in League Two, and you know, been in League Two for I think it's 10 years now in the Football League as well. So you know, it's a big achievement for Stevenage, and something that, you know, it was kind of needed as well. It's come, you know, just a little bit too late, obviously for you and some of the other players around at that time, but it's just massive to be a league club for Stevenage, and you know, to stay as a Football League club as well. I mean, the last few weeks.
Yeah, they got out of jail, didn't they, this season?
Yeah.
You know, and it's been the same for the last couple of seasons. So we need a good start. We need a good recruitment process for next season, so that we're not looking over our shoulder at what's going on. You know, we're looking up the other end to the playoffs. Absolutely,
and I'm sure Steve Evans will want to get them, you know, in that direction as quickly as they can. There's apparently going to be quite a big turnover in the summer as well in terms of players and everything like that. So he's going to, you know, get to stamp his own authority on it, which is massive as a manager as well.
Of course, yeah. He's got a big task on his hands.
Absolutely, yeah. So just want to see if there's anything else. Obviously, we touched on Steve Evans a little bit and Stevenage there. And of course, I suppose just the final 2 points I can kind of combine together. And obviously, Stevenage have always been a very family orientated club as well, and also that kind of comes in with the community work that was kind of throughout the pandemic as well, and all the work that the club were doing. So that's massive, isn't it, as well? And just a big pat on the back for everyone at Stevenage that did that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, Stevenage really stood up in the COVID situation and really led the way in many aspects. You know, it was fantastic what they did. Really tremendous. You know, absolutely wonderful.
And of course, just finally as well, I suppose just a message for the fans as well. Fans that might not have got their tickets for Sunday yet. You got a message to urge them just to go out there and go and support Martin. Yeah,
look, it's going to be an exciting affair. You know, the players have voted, haven't they, with their feet? They're coming along to the game, so we want the fans to come along with to the game as well. We want people to put their hands in their pockets. It's not expensive. It's going to be great fun. Great afternoon, and lots of excitement, lots of smiles, and lots of enjoyment. So, and if you want, if you want to take your kids somewhere on Sunday afternoon, get them out in fresh air. Wonderful thing for them.
I've got a busy weekend coming up this weekend myself, obviously with the game on Saturday and then their Sunday. So it's going to be two great games and two different occasions. So I'll see you Sunday.
I'm sure the club are going to promote the game on the Saturday, and hopefully, a lot of those people will come along to the game.
All right, Paul, thanks a lot, and I'll see you Sunday.
Yeah, all the very best, Mark.
All right, thanks. See you the weekend. Bye.
Thanks, Mike. Bye-bye, Mike.
Bye-bye.